Welcome to the HCS Charlotte Open Qualifier presented by LBT. My name is Active and alongside me is Tony. Hey, what's up, Tony? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, baby. I see some bright futures ahead of me, so I had to throw the sunglasses on real quick. Because ain't no way my boys G1 came out with a win like that over, not against the third place at Worlds. Not against Native Red. There's no way that G1 have the opportunity to make it into a grand finals just one series away. I'm sorry, that future too bright. Let me throw the glasses back on. I'm sorry.
But they've got to get through OpTic first. We're in your losers finals. This is game number one, OpTic Gaming versus Gamers First. We've seen what G1 is capable of. They were able to win that game 5 just recently, and now 4 dead for OpTic Gaming. This is a good start.
Gamers First going up against OpTic Gaming, the rematch from that North American Super. What was that, $150,000 that was on the line? And I will be honest with you, it was a bad matchup for them back in season 1, but this is a whole new crew with a whole new attitude. 3 down go OpTic Gaming. G1 already having that advantage. They're pushing in. The early pull is in, but is the timing on their side? Past the 50% portion of the map, will they cap this flag, Tim?
Looks like that flag is going to be dead for just a second. Some slays have to come out, but like you mentioned, Tony, these two teams have not played yet in the preseason. This is a very different G1 roster, said to have some incredible chemistry, which is some of the most important things you can have on a roster. On board with the Spectre, he's pushing in aggressively here. Has to get this kill, but he trades.
Decent amount of damage with the heat wave. Might have done a little bit of damage to himself, as OpTic Gaming, one of the hardest teams to cap a flag on. Even when they go 3 down, you know the overextenders are coming in. You know they're gonna have a coordinated push, and what you gotta be even more careful with is the counter pull, and that's exactly what's coming in for OpTic. That flag is already moving the opposite way. Can G1 now respond the same way that OG did?
That coordination is gonna be vital here with Camo coming up in 13 seconds. Boo-Boo Doo-Boo, though, he's going to be in a 1v1 with the APG. This is a must-win, and with shock grenades on your side, that kill is almost guaranteed. He stays alive, bottom center.
Like you said, he's staying alive here. That's exactly what they need him to do, but there's 2 members onto the card side. He's able to deal with one, snatches up the camouflage, brings it all the way down to the bottom bit without anybody seeing him. Boo-Boo Doo-Boo, the sneakiest player in the game, and now it's going to be even more evident with that active camouflage doing damage to Trippy, putting him down to one-shot formal, trying to spot him out, and now he has his duo in Falcated coming back in with the sidekick. Falcated ends up going down. So will Boo-Boo Doo-Boo, despite having the camouflage. Really wanted to see them play through that camo and get a pull with it.
Yeah, you talk about Boo-Boo Doo-Boo, and the first thing that comes up in most of the community is that he's one of the best camo players in the game right there. We didn't see much of that. So fortunately for OpTic, they're going to have a chance to defend here. But it's sad they've got to get through first. That push is coming through utility.
Man, is it good to see Boo-Boo Doo-Boo and Falcated back together. You got the 8-3 out of Falcated, 7-4 out of Boo-Boo Doo-Boo. This was the long-time duo back in the day, forced to be separated when Boo-Boo Doo-Boo came to G1, but he brought his brother back on there. So excited to see this. But now I'm even more excited to see G1 come out with the win, especially against a team like OpTic Gaming, the favorites going into season 2, back-to-back land champions, your world champions. This is a mountain to climb. This is not even normal. This is Everest to climb. This is almost impossible for Gamers First to climb, especially when OpTic Gaming already have that flag in their base. But where did Falcated come from?
That was an incredible stop by Falcated, and with the cross shots from APG here, this flag potentially still goes in, but he's got to fight up a couple more players. Those shocks so very important. He's gonna get the trade there, and that flag will potentially be pulled in the return. It's gonna come out as well. G1 on the counter cap.
Gamers First, not only with the return, but getting the slays they were looking for, already addressing these spawners as Falcated putting multiple players down to one shot. Wasn't able to get the kill, but Boo-Boo Doo-Boo comes in with that bait and switch, gets an easy double kill. So now that's back-to-back 3 downs going in favor of Gamers First, and they're still rolling. Boo-Boo Doo-Boo takes the pivotal battle against APG, and that's going to solidify this flag going in. And on top of that, Suspector has the camouflage, so you know I love that multitasking, Tim. Capping a the flag, getting camouflage, and now aggressing back into OpTic Gaming's face.
Multitasking is the name of the game, but the value out of this camo is what's most important, and he gets it right there onto APG, solidifying that P2 control, and 2 kills on the board means OpTic is 3 down. Here comes the push from G1.
What a play by Falcon to take 2 in that 1 life. I think actually took 3 players total right there. You talked about value, so 1 life, 3 kills. That sounds like value to me. OpTic Gaming, the favorites going in, the number 2 seed going against the number 6 seed, and as of right now, Gamers First are playing them amazingly here in the first game, and now can they continue that same energy? Suspector ends up going down. So do 3 members of G1. Don't get sloppy on me. OpTic Gaming know how to take advantage of every mistake you make.
Yeah, G1 did a really good job there, right? Boo was staying alive on the utility side, waiting for help before he pushed, but it wasn't enough. OpTic had the cross from top center, had some damage into the players pushing. They're able to quell that push, but here comes OpTic on the aggression here. OpTic in your utility is not a good thing.
APG with the heat wave, taking down 1, now working on the second. Can he get the double kill? Boo trades out his life right there, and G1 have successfully cleared OpTic Gaming from their base and now converting that defense into offense. Falcon had already pushed up over towards the fridge side. OpTic Gaming trying to deal with him. He's doing as much damage as possible. Doesn't find the kill he was looking for, but now the rest of G1 are able to surround and collapse on him, forcing that pinch. But OpTic Gaming, they're too good. They just bust right out of that setup.
Yeah, right when you think G1 have an advantage right there with the life being played on the fridge side, OpTic are able to form a defense and stop any deaths from happening. Lots of trades on the board for both sides in this scenario. You see that very often, but G1 on the other end of the slays from OpTic potentially trying to catch up in slays as Falcated and Boo both have 15 each.
APG in the base of Gamers First right now. APG opts for a polite gentleman, so he's looking to escort the enemy team to the black screen. Gonna do exactly that with Suspector. Half the team of G1 go down, so that might be a pull here for OpTic Gaming, but the counter pull's already coming in for Gamers First, so a bit of a stalemate here. These next slays are going to be so important. As of right now, they're working in favor of OG. The first one goes down, the second one's going to join them, the third one says, I want to join my friends. He's going to get the black screen as well, and now you're seeing Formal chasing Suspector back. Where's that flag? It's already in OG's base. This should be a capture, but the pull comes in once again.
This is the second time Suspector's been in a position to potentially be a thorn in the side of OpTic, but unfortunately this time it's not going to do enough. OpTic get their first cap on the board and tie it up 1-1.
Gamers First drew first blood. But as we've said time and time again, it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. And one thing that OpTic Gaming remind me of is like that old Warrior scene. When it comes to the third quarters of games, that's when they pull away. So at this 4-minute mark, that's when they assert dominance. Even in the Slayers, when it gets to that 32, 35 kill mark, that's when they really start to show off. You can't even get to a fourth quarter with them because they usually have a blowout game by the third quarter. Can OpTic Gaming now come in, get the pull that's necessary, get themselves that lead, and get comfortable towards the end game?
Formal with camo here was spotted, but the ability to stay alive and clean up the kills is so huge. He gets G1 3 dead, and now full control of the map for OpTic.
Uh-oh. When you got one of the best shots in the league sitting towards top mid, raining down shots, hitting every single one, you not having any health whatsoever. So while you're ducking behind cover, the rest of OpTic is getting towards your base. Trippy already onto the flank. Formal not missing a shot. We just talked. That's gonna be a kill by Formal. Now he's gonna join Trippy as they work these spawns. Suspector ends up going down, killing spree being earned, but he's not happy with that. He's hungry for more. Flag gets pulled. Luckily, Gamers First were ready for that.
Very impressive by Falcated and Boo to be able to play that bottom center area and still stay alive the entirety of that sequence. And because of that, nothing will come of any caps here for either side. But OpTic look to be the controllers of the map here as they pass the 50% portion.
Can OpTic Gaming control that? Can keep that control, if you will? Because the one thing Gamers First are good at doing is finding that pair, finding that duo, and pushing and forcing through those numbers. Bait and switch is always a part of G1's playbook. But OpTic Gaming read it like a book, and now the counterattack is coming in. Suspector gets a huge kill with a heat wave, but it's not going to stop the green wall from pushing forward. I thought walls were stationary, but somehow this wall is going forward into the base of Gamers First. Formal now sitting over to the utility side, snatches up that heat wave. Can he put it to work? He's gonna have multiple G1 members in front of him.
Yeah, the moving wall is closing in on G1 right now. They've got to get a couple of slays, and they find two. And with camo coming up, they're gonna have numbers advantage to potentially grab this and then retake control. This is a very important camo for either one of these teams, as it's tied 1-1 with 1:40 left.
Those dynamo grenades are so powerful, and I thought that Trippy and OpTic should have been able to get away with that active camo with it, but somehow Gamers First, like the slippery snakes they are, they snatched that active camouflage. Now have the opportunity to play through it, because now OpTic Gaming always have to watch their back. They have to watch their flag, watch out for back smacks. Suspector can be around every corner. This time he's coming to utility side. APG. What was that strafe? Oh my man, made me dizzy. I'm not even in the game, Tim.
Yeah, as a camo player, you want to go for those 100% kills. And APG looked like a perfect target, but with a strafe like that, he made it nearly impossible. Now the camo player going down, 2 dead for G1. OpTic, they smell blood in the water, and they're pushing up aggressively.
The Sharks are swimming. They're surrounding Gamers First, who have just gone 2 down. And OpTic Gaming, they want to speed up their play. The dynamo grenade should be able to finish off one. The formal action to steal away one. Lucid takes out another one. Boo Dooble caught in the back base. They actually got the kill on Boo Dooble. They run the flag almost out. Luckily, the teamwork will relay that flag forward. Trippy, the only player alive of OpTic Gaming, still confident enough to push that flag in. Loosen APG, getting the god spawns that they want. This is going to be an absolute brawl as time is winding down. Will we be going into an overtime? Can OpTic Gaming capture this flag? Suspector gets the first kill. APG uses that height advantage to get the second, and now the flag continues to go forward. There's only one player for G1 that's in position to hold this flag. This is bad.
Yeah, it's up to Sab right now. He gets the first, but can he get more? That flag is still P1, and Lucid playing his life perfectly here. It's going to make this very difficult. Look at Sab, though. He's run the flag all the way past the 50% portion of the map, and they get another kill as well. This is huge.
4 down for OpTic Gaming. Sab with the flag in hands. The teabags are coming in. I thought OpTic Gaming were going to be one to capture this flag before we go into an overtime. But just like G1 did in the beginning of the game, they counter, they steal it, and they take game 1.
Absolutely incredible there. You thought maybe that flag was in trouble. It was past the viewpoint of the players from G1 spawning in that utility. But they just converged so well, and it wasn't enough. OpTic wasn't able to clean anything up. And again, Sab playing his life here was so very important. I love this curb slide as well. To add to it all, he curb slide, gets the flag bottom mid, and then they work together to get the slays on the overextensions, all 4 dead. And there it is for game 1. Absolutely an incredible job by G1. OpTic need to answer back.
And we talk about that time and time again. Like you can get that flag over towards your base, but just realize that you have to dedicate so many resources to trying to capture that flag. And the moment you do or you don't, there's a possibility that you go 3 down, and your opponents have the opportunity to play through that, to counter you. And if you're not ready for it, you're just sending another flag the other way. OpTic Gaming, they played so scrappy. I loved what I saw, but Gamers First, they stood strong. They did not waver. They stayed confident, and they captured that final flag to make it 2-1. And now we're going to find out if they can make it a 2-0 in the series, because we're going to the streets of New Mombasa. I always say, you're looking for a fight, meet me in the streets.
One of the biggest things, Tony, that I noticed from G1 was just a couple of the play, like Suspector is one that comes to mind. Sab, the ability to stay alive when potentially you're the last one. to stay alive, but also to be a nuisance, to be that thorn in your side, right? OpTic had to take care of the thorn on their side, plus the spawning players, and it was just a little overwhelming. They got pinched and 4 dead, but multiple times I saw G1 players staying alive so very well, making themselves that difficult kill. One of the biggest things we can say to any player trying to get better at Halo Infinite, you gotta make your life a difficult one to kill, and G1 did that so very, very well. Game 2, we're gonna go on Slayer, the streets, of course, and we always talk about this map being that power weapon map, but you've got one of the best sandbox players in the game in Lucid. How do you stop this man?
Run away. That's what I would do. I'm running away. But you maybe not run away, but how about we say keep away?
Okay.
You keep there's the best way to not have Lucid use the weapons against you is to snatch them up and keep them away from him and use them for yourself. That Stalker rifle and Bulldog combination. You don't want it in his hands. Great. Right. Put it in one of your Slayer's hands. Right. Keep it in there. Always be ready for those rockets. Make sure you're staying alive when you see that 15-second mark, setting up and either putting yourself in a position to grab those rockets or at least use them as bait. Maybe run away wasn't the right term, but I'll say keep away. My man Snow Stats, he gave me some good intel, though. I'll be ready for this. Are you ready?
Let me hear it.
He told me to keep your eye out on the main Slayers of each crew here for day 2. And that's APG and Suspected. My man APG, wow. I call him a polite gentleman, a 1.94 KD. So far 2-0 here in day 2 in this tournament. And then Suspector, 5-0. 1.87 KD, so just a little bit behind, but the record so far very good for both OpTic and G1 when it comes to Slayers, whether it's game 2, whether it's game 5, they simply win those.
That's an insane stat, and I think it was Mikowski who talked about it. I believe it was yesterday, or it was Tools. It was one of the great casters we have, but regardless, when a player like APG doesn't have to play that objective role and he can jump into that Slayer role, he does it so well. I mean, a 1.94 KD in a Slayer in a tournament is insane. When you're talking about playing against some of the best teams in the game, that just kind of blows my mind. So I would love to see if that continues here, because honestly, OpTic need this win. They need this Slayer win. And on the streets, I think one of their stronger maps, we're going to have to see if that becomes the case.
And I know there's probably a bunch of little Johnnies in the chat right now like, oh, 1.94 KD. I do that all the time. I mean, I'm a SWAT master. I play quick play all day. Like, all right, we're not talking about you and your bot lobbies, okay? Relax, buddy. We're talking about the best in the world. The best of the best. You just saw OpTic Gaming duke it out with the likes of FaZe. You just saw G1 do their things against SSG. So when we're talking about this level of KD, we're not talking about you and your diamond ranked lobbies. I'm sorry, your platinum ranked lobby. We're talking about the absolute best in the world. Game 2 gonna be played on the streets. And Tim, if you don't mind me asking, I want to, while we're waiting for the lobby to formulate and little technical difficulties when we get over that, but why don't you tell me a little bit about what's on the line here? What are these teams actually playing for? Break it down for us.
So it comes down to that seeding, right? And seeding is so very important. Seeding for Charlotte is some of the most important thing you can look for because it determines what pool you're in, right? If you're potentially in that very difficult pool or if you have an easier pool in Charlotte. And of course, pool play is going to determine the championship bracket. So, I mean, these guys are playing for a lot more than you think. It comes down to, whether you have a more difficult time at Charlotte or whether you have a little bit of an easier time. I believe both these teams have already secured pool play, so that's guaranteed. But, the seeding is the next important thing, and that's exactly what they're playing for.
Yeah, obviously there's a narrative where, like, if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. And I don't want to poo-poo on that whatsoever. But what I will say is, when you get that second place or that first place finish, or even top 3, which is going to be great for certain teams, nobody looks at your journey behind and says, oh, he got an easier bracket. Or I should say, if you wait long enough, the history books don't reflect that. What the history books say is this team won X amount of events.
Right. This
team won back-to-back land champions. This team won the actual awards. If you wait long enough, eventually the history books forget how you got there, and it just becomes how did you get there? Did you execute? So giving yourself a more favorable position in pool play or a bracket play is nothing to hang your hats low about. Nothing to be ashamed of. Like, no, go out there and do the damn thing. Do what you got to do to get the job done and to win these games and get yourself into Charlotte and get yourself in, again, a favorable position. Really excited to see OpTic and Gamers First leave it all on the line here. Once again, it's coming on the streets. You talked about that sandbox coming into play. The Rockets, the Stalker, the Bulldog, Disruptor, Commando, Assault Rifle. We had the Thrust, the Repulse, the Kitchen Sink, that Palm Tree right there. Watch out, there's
so much.
There's everything here on the streets on such a small map.
It is huge, right? The sandbox is huge. I really think that, once again, like we've talked about Lucid many times. I know, obviously MVP of Season 1, but you've got to just understand his ability to use every weapon at such a high level. And like you said, keep away is the name of the game, right? You got to keep those weapons out of his hands. You got to keep the weapons out of OpTic's hands in general, or, on the side of Boo Boo, maybe keep the weapons out of Boo Boo's hands. Regardless, these weapons change the game. A lot of swings will happen. You'll see with rockets, you'll see, even just 2 rockets, map control is being taken, and then that kind of staggers, maybe it creates stagger spawns, which then, potentially give you a 10-kill lead. It snowballs. You got to be really careful, and that's why they play so heavily for these. But as you can see, Formal with the rockets in hand, he's already going to put one down, and they've got one more to work with. It's 4-3.
You said a lot of changes happened within the game, but now we're going to find out if there'll be some major changes within the power rankings. OpTic, whether you had them as your number 1 or your number 2 seed, you probably had them in the grand finals going to Charlotte, but Gamers First can disrupt that right here, right now. It's a 6-5 start, making a 7-5. Excuse me, I can't count. Lucid with the Sentinel Beam and the BR in hands, working this pole like he know what he's doing. Formal gonna try to push up for the bait and switch, but the numbers working in favor of G1. They stopped both OpTic players from aggressing forward. Now OpTic getting caught on spawn right there. That was a 3 down. The 4th one gonna fall. G1 starting to make things happen a little bit, starting to get a little bit on a roll.
And this is what G1's doing, right? This game is all about trades, especially in a Slayer. So if you're getting those trades with which both teams were doing initially, you're good. But once Gamers First starts to get those kills without trades, that's when a lead happens. 10-7.
Samus and Spectre working little 1-2 combo over towards the A side. Trippy comes in, tries to do as much damage as possible, but despite being one shot, eventually is taken down. Lucid not able to pick up all of the pieces there, so that engagement still kind of working in favor of Gamers First, as Formal making a high IQ play, waits for his teammates to come off his spawn. Like we talked about before, when that timer is up on the spanker, you got to make sure that you're staying alive and make sure you're putting yourself in a favorable position to either play for it or to either bait it. The back smack goes in on the first one, goes in for the Eagle challenge. Falcated goes down. Suspector almost got put on a highlight reel. But what happened to those rockets? You said the master of the sandbox. There he is.
There he is, and he gets a double with 1. But I've got to bring up my man Formal. That was such a great play. He overextends towards mid, gets a beautiful backsmack onto Boo Boo, and then a double to solidify these rockets for OpTic Gaming. And this is exactly the damage they're able to cause. As you can see, the stagger spawns are happening, and the lead is being diminished right now, 16-19. OpTic's starting to come back.
Stalker rifle in the hands of Formal. Use that little crack in the stairway to get as much information as possible, but eventually is spotted out and dealt with. So when switch gears over towards APG, he has to retreat back over towards Lucid. Do not go 3 down, do not go 4 down. The name of the game is to play through your numbers. If OpTic don't have it, they don't try to force it. But right now, you still find yourself down by 4 kills. APG taking a few back shots over toward the tire side. He's gonna have to back down, catching a little bit of a new angle. Multiple members of Gamers First are gonna try to push the purple side, and APG, it's not a fair fight here on the streets. He got a Bulldog in a BR fight, and even that's not enough to keep him alive.
Yeah, G1 played that pretty well, I thought, right? They baited towards B Street, then rotated to purple, but OpTic read every single play, and they were able to shut them down. A 21-23 game we have right here. OpTic starting to slim this margin very quickly.
My man 90, he just let me know real quick that y'all being even more of a support player than my man Boo Boo Doo, because despite the fact that Boo Boo Doo has 7 kills, 5 assists, only has died 8 times, you guys in the chat done put us over 800
wow,
subs. So
that's amazing.
90, woo!
We're so close to that 1K mark, Tony.
We gonna get there. What you mean? What are you talking about? You're not a believer?
I believe.
You're a believer, right?
We're definitely gonna get there, man. We're gonna get there by the grand finals.
I'm making sure. You mouse and keyboard players, I'll be acting, I don't know. 28 to 26 lead in favor of Gamers First as Boo Boo Dubu did eventually put his 9th kill on the board. Stalker rifle out for him. Suspector was able to get away with those rockets, so that sandbox that you talked about multiple times coming into effect. G1 gonna use it against OpTic masterfully as the first 2 quickly go down. Now it's a 4v2 situation. Gamers First, they need to get those kills. They need to get that spawn trap, move over towards the end zone. That's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, Suspector had the right idea, though. He knew that Lucid, I believe Formal, were stuck inside of PD, so he backs up to try and force the other 2 to spawn there. Unfortunately, maybe a miscommunication, but regardless, they continue to get the kills. 35 to 28. G1 starting to pull away with 7 minutes remaining.
And if y'all ain't picking up the Stalker rifle by now, I don't know what's gonna get you to the perfect kill out of Boo Boo Dubu before the enemy team even fires off 2 shots at him. It's dangerous. Partially the reason why he has 10 kills at the moment and is absolutely going off. Suspector 11 and 6 as well, so 21 kills out of the 35 between Boo Boo Dubu and Suspector. Incredible play so far for Gamers First. A 5-kill lead. Will it be enough to hold OpTic back? Because you know OpTic, they're always ready for that counter. They're always ready to bounce back, and they have now taken control of the subway side.
I love that play by Formal in bottom middle, right? He switches targets. He's not able to finish either one of them. He understands that, puts 2 shots into both, and here comes the cleanup crew to get the cleanup kills, and 34 to 37 now the score. OpTic with one more push could potentially tie this game.
Trippy catches himself in a weird position over toward the B stairs. His teammates did have his back, but Gamers First, once they get that call out that you're weak, they fly at you. They don't allow any one shot to get away, especially Falcated, absolutely beaming from across the map. Suspector goes down to 1 shot, so what does Falcated do? He covers his brother's back. Formal might catch a rocket to the dome. Falcated does enough damage to himself to take himself out, but hey, at this point, when you have a lead, you play for the trades, and at this point, Gamers First are 7 kills away from going up 2-0 against OpTic Gaming.
Yeah, like you said, right? You're up in kills. You're able to take trades like that, and a trade like that using the last rocket, not putting it in OpTic's hands, is definitely a positive trade for G1. But you can see the aggression here. Unfortunately, caught out of position is Suspector in that situation. And OpTic's honestly just finding so many holes in this defense. They're able to isolate players that 2 times in a row now. G1 with the lead still, but they've got to slow down.
I said in game number 1, don't want to see G1 get sloppy just because they have the lead. No matter how close that finish line is, you got to cross it. You got to bust through the red tape. And that's exactly what Gamers First need to do. Don't cramp up. Don't slow down. Keep the pedal to the metal. Suspector and Boo Boo Dubu gonna push up over toward the purple side of the map. Trippy is stationed over toward the top C to kind of watch that a little bit. You're seeing a bit more control coming over OpTic, closer to that 50% portion, and in 24 seconds, rockets will come up. OpTic know that they gotta get aggressive. That's exactly what they're gonna do, but Trippy the first one to go down. Lucid not able to get out of that situation alive. 3 more kills needed by Gamers First. Formal sitting over toward the cafe side, and of course he simply wins those, and he ends up tripping Suspector. Suspector not able to get the trade. Falcon ends up going down. This might be a breakdown here.
This is a breakdown, but Formal does have the rockets in hand. 49 to 46. Formal looking for the very last kill. It's Sav, but he's underneath. 1 rocket is all he needs, but wait, he goes down. And G1 close it out. Are you kidding me? Formal with the rockets in hand, not able to connect. Everyone's staying alive. Oh my word.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Tim. I was a little scared here. Long range rocket. Not able to get behind that wall and behind cover while that rocket was going off. But even before that, like this play right here, look at this. So Boo Boo Dubu goes in for the challenge. You already know Formal has a daggone good shot. Nothing wrong here with Boo Boo Dubu doing much damage. He says Suspector should be able to clean him up. At that point, what do you do? Like 3 or 4 shots right there, and even the melee from Suspector doesn't take down Formal. How is this not at least a trade right there?
The melee hurt himself.
The damage from Boo Boo Doo should have been enough for Suspector to just slide in there and get at least a trade. It doesn't happen. I'm like, whoa, hold on, because now G1 are 2 down. Now OpTic are able to get those rockets. Things were a little bit scary, but Gamers First, they push through, they prevail, and they're up 2-0 against OpTic Gaming. I read the script. I read the script like 5-6 times over. I didn't see this.
Yeah, we're the losers finals. OpTic being on the lower end of the bracket and potentially their tournament life right here on the line. But yeah, I do agree that's the word of your sentence that I love the most was prevail, right? You end up in a situation like that, but you still clutch it up at the very end. I honestly thought, with Formal with Rockets, I thought maybe they'd make a decent comeback and be able to, you know, make the game a little bit closer, but unfortunately no one from G1 was in his sights. And he goes for that long-range rocket. It doesn't work out, but we know OpTic, right? They can come back here. Strongholds on Recharge is game number 3, and I'm assuming we're getting right into it, unless Coach Lunchbox wants to have a talk. But I mean, this OpTic squad, I've heard a lot about them recently. You know, this is not the same OpTic, etc., etc. I think you gotta show respect to the world champs, right? These guys, they've been in these situations before, but it's a team like G1 that's gonna test their limits. G1 looks really strong, and that's why this HCS Season 2 is so incredibly exciting, right? There's so many teams that have built rosters that just look so very strong. FaZe, G1, BTH even. We'll see if OpTic can come back here in this series. It starts right now.
One of my favorite quotes is, "Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. And it is the courage to continue that counts." They've been successful over the first 2 games so far, but Gamers First still have to close it out, and you're still dealing with OpTic Gaming. Game number 3, potentially the final time that we're gonna see OpTic Gaming here in this tournament. Give them their lowest placing so far in the preseason. Can Gamers First pull off the 3-0?
Here we go. Game number 3, OpTic down 0-2. G1 a chance to close it out right now. And when you're up 2-0, you would think an easy task, but at this point, you've got a monster to deal with that you know. A couple mistakes here and there, they can take this series back in no time. Falcated is going to be the one to stop that. He's on your screen right now.
Formal getting caught a bit in no man's land right there. Gamers First gonna deal with them quickly, and now not only did Falcated able to get that kill, but steals away Bravo with it. A 40-0 lead still in favor of OpTic Gaming, but Gamers First are already trying to get into their AB setup. OpTic gonna wait before they get their numbers, before they push. Falcated not waiting whatsoever. He's gonna grapple right into the action. High risk, high reward, but I don't think that one quite paid off.
Yeah, I think he thought he had help on top A, but top A was being contested, so no help came through. It's gonna be 2 down for OpTic though. Formal doing a great job of staying alive in that scenario. He's got a lot of members of G1 right next to him. He's got to be careful, because if he overextends, this triple cap will go through. That's exactly what G1 is looking for.
But big double kill coming out of Formal. APG gonna follow up as well, so almost an entire squad wide works in favor of OpTic Gaming, and now they're gonna continue to add to their lead. Gamers First spawning over toward the Charlie side of the map. Sab is already pushed up over towards tower, waiting for the backup to come. You have a little bit of a 2-pronged attack. You got Sab pushing over toward the H side, multiple pushing over towards C, but Sab goes down and Falcated gets spotted.
Yeah, this is unfortunate. OpTic, one of those teams that are so good at that structured setup. They have one right there, but unfortunately, as I talk, it is broken. APG on a power position is gone. Trippy does have camo though. He can play his life here, but he's not aware of the push from Suspector, and he goes down 3 down for OpTic.
He was definitely straight tripping on that one. He had no idea that player was just sprinting behind him, trying to Spartan charge him like it's Halo 5. APG goes down as well. Trip cap in favor of Gamers First, who still found himself down by almost 40 points. Love this play by Falcated, covering the seaside angle with the shock rifle, then tries to shoot the pad to get that extra damage in. Going back in with the pad work, Falcated using the entire sandbox. A chain reaction, a double kill. OpTic end up going 4 down because of it. Falcated. He not just a slayer, my man's big brained as well, putting in the work.
Oh my word, what an incredible play by Falcated. He stops the cap onto C, he stops the cap onto A, and he spot traps them on C plat. Holy crap. Falcated literally giving them the lead here in this game.
Stronghold captured.
Falcated. Half man, half amazing the way he dunked on him right there. I love that play. It was just a perfect use of the shock rifle and the IQ play to shoot those pads multiple times. The chain reaction, just incredible work by him. But it's still OpTic Gaming that have that double cap. It's still OpTic Gaming that have the lead. So despite the individual plays being made, they got to start turning into some team plays, and you got to do it against the best in the world. Gamers first. How do you answer?
You've got to get these kills and got to get them quick. Trippy makes himself such a difficult kill in that scenario, which allows his team to push up on the map. Finally, G1 do get 2 caps, but can they hold on to him is the question. OpTic is such a good team when it comes to breaking setups.
It's Falcated's responsibility here to watch the Charlie side of the map. Does not expect Lucid coming in for the flank, but luckily Boo is there to clean that one up. Multiple members of OpTic are still flooding over toward the Hydro side. Bounces one back, not enough though. APG stays alive. Formal trades out his life there, but OpTic successfully have broken through the Charlie side, and they should be able to steal it with that, and they still have presence over towards Bravo. So setup locked in here for OpTic Gaming. Gamers first once again have to break.
What's good too is they understand where the spawns are coming from, just due to the setup that they have. They're able to quell that push. Trippy's still on the push here. APG's gonna wait for his shields, and then they're gonna clean up Suspector as well. This is what I talk about when I say finessing your life, playing your life as best as possible. They do it perfectly there. They're able to utilize each other. But Boo with a sneaky play is gonna cap B.
Stronghold capture.
124 to 106 lead, still in favor of OpTic Gaming. And Lucid coming in with the green gun and building a green wall of defense around this Charlie side. Gamers first want to push with a long haul. They want this plot bad, so they're sending nades. Multiple members. Lucid is buying his time, playing his life, or like you said, finessing. Gamers first long enough for his teammates to get involved. APG eventually comes in with the double kill, snatches up that shock rifle. They hang on to Charlie, but Gamers first, they've already adapted and they've pushed over on the alpha side of the map.
Yeah, they've solidified a nice AB hold, 147 to 117 and counting. G1 starting to reel back here. With APG on the bottom tower, they got to take care of him, and they do just that.
Took care of one, but we still got more. 3 members of OpTic still are pushing up, still trying to find an easy lane or an avenue to make it either toward the Alpha or the Bravo side. The shots are distracting the player onto the gold side, and it looks like they're able to push them out. Trippy and Lucid getting back-to-back kills, but they end up giving up their life in order to do so. Boo only has 1 player to deal with in order to clear out the gold side, but APG refuses to go down. He gets the slay, which was so important for him to push over toward the Bravo side. Can he take it? No! APG goes down, and Bravo might end up getting reset.
That was a really good play. I believe it was Sab that was on the bat ledge with the crossfire. Falcated's going to rotate over there. I think it was Falcated actually on the bat ledge, but that cross shot is so very important, especially on that push. They were kind of stuck in A there. And because of the damage across the map, something I love about this recharge map, they're able to withstand and continue to put time on the board.
Your anchor play is going to be so important. The ability to have teamwork without being right on top of each other, that's what those cross-map angles are all about. It's a great call. But now you're seeing multiple members of OpTic They're not playing the long game. They're trying to get in the face of G1, but easier said than done because they fight back. Alpha gets cleared. Bravo the same. OpTic Gaming get full wipe. Gamers First already have the lead, and now they're going to add a good 15 to 20 seconds before OpTic are even able to get involved here. Gamers First are slowly starting to move into their end game. OpTic, they may just get swept.
Yeah, we're not seeing the same level of discipline out of OpTic Gaming in this game thus far. A lot of 1v1s, a lot of staggered pushes and isolated pushes. But we know what they're capable of. They can reset. That reset needs to start right now. They get 2 caps on the board. G1's gonna go ahead and get C, but Formal with a shock rifle in hand, gonna give them a little bit of their own medicine.
Shock rifle camouflage combination in the hands of Formal. We've talked about it. It's the most dangerous combination in this game, and Formal might be one of the most dangerous players here. Controller player of the year. Able to put Boo Boo Doo Boo down to 1 shot. Not quite able to connect on the multiple players that are pushing onto the glass side. So G1, they want to play through longer. They want to play through glass, but looks like they're backing down for just a moment here. OpTic spread across this map, controlling about, I would say, 75% of it, leaving as minimal as possible for Gamers First to play through. The pings are going in. Formal is ready. Suspector and Falcon, they have to fight through it. Boo Boo Doo Boo pushed on the A side, but he ends up going down. Lucid has a 1v2 situation as Formal can't get involved. He has to deal with the A side players and the B side. Lucid off the screen takes down 2 somehow. And now Formal deals with this 1 player in Sab, and OpTic's defense will prevail.
Yeah, very good target prioritization there by Formal. He still puts some shots. I believe it was into Falcated there, but is able to back off and take the 1v1 on A. They secured that, and look at this. 227 to 218. Almost a 60-point run here out of OpTic Gaming.
Even when G1 push over toward the Bravo side, what do OpTic do? They immediately adapt. So now they've stolen the lead here. OpTic were the ones on the ropes. Gamers First were closing in, but now it's Gamers First that are desperate to get their butts in the hill. Falcated takes down Lucid. Trippy's already watching the A side. It looks like Formal's gonna grapple right up there, and Gamers First can't get in a hill. They reached 218 points when OpTic only had 168, and they blew that lead. OpTic coming out of nowhere, looking to reverse sweep.
That's what I tried to say, man. This is a championship team right here. They know what to do. They know how to reset. They did it just then. It looked real good for G1 for a while, but it's called the green wall for a reason. That green wall was cemented in, and G1 just could not break through. Incredible job. Taking a look at the damage here. Across the board, pretty even on the side of OpTic, as well as G1. Some incredible plays. We'll see some replays, Tony. OpTic icing it up.
The one thing I love about this elimination bracket finals here is that there's no weak link on either one of these teams. I'm looking at the stats. All the kills are pretty close to each other. You have Formal that stands out with about 20, but everybody else behind them has a decent amount of kills and assists. And even on the other side with G1, the same thing. It's so balanced because you can't have a weak link. It's going to take a full coordinated effort for both of these teams to come in. OpTic Gaming able to finally put their first on the board here, but they still have to take 2 in a row in order to make it back into the grand finals. G1, they still have the advantage here. 1 more game, and they're sending OpTic home.
And next, we're gonna go to Livefire Oddball. We talked about Livefire. If you watched any of season 1, you'll know that OpTic very strong on that Livefire map, but we haven't seen the same strength as teams have started to kind of catch up with the meta. Right now, OpTic are down 1-2. They still need to come back here and then also win the game 5. A lot on their shoulders. Can they do it?
OpTic only able to get 1 down for Gamers First, but that's still the opportunity they needed to push that ball over and scrap just a little bit of time, all while positioning themselves over towards the overshield, and then they just play through it. They force Gamers First, trap them into pushing over toward the overshield side. They get the slays, 4 down, go Gamers First. How did that happen?
It's discipline. It's being able to play your life and wait for your teammate to get an angle. That's exactly what we saw multiple times there from multiple members of OpTic. It's something that they worked so hard on before Orlando that allowed them to win Orlando and then go into Worlds and win as well. Of course, that is LAN. That's when the lights are the brightest. So here, they've got to be a bit more comfortable and get back into that disciplined mode. And with that, up 28-0 thus far. Oof.
Boo Doo able to find an incredible angle on that play over toward the green side, forcing the play ball early, and Gamers First ready for the play ball. Early pull, early seaside setup, but they need the kills as well, and that's exactly what you're gonna get. Boo Doo. Body shotting with the sniper rifle, switches quick to the BR, finishes him off right as he goes to work with Formal. Boo Doo starting to heat up here, and in 20 seconds, we're gonna see an overshield, another round of slays, and Gamers First will not only have this setup, but also have overshield in their hands as well.
And with that overshield, we'll see the strength of this tower setup with the sniper in the hands of Boo Doo. He's going to be a big, impactful point here when it comes to getting this OS.
This OS going to use this bait. Formal having no idea Boo Doo was ratting it out over toward the tower side. You know, it's funny, it's Formal that played a little bit of Call of Duty, but Boo Doo the one camping over toward that tower side looking like a Call of Duty player. I'm not sure who's the COD player here, but overshield in the hands of Boo Doo. Now gonna push right up through the C-plat side. Ready to engage with APG. You have those extra shields. You gotta be the meat. You gotta take that damage for your opponent to do as much damage as possible. Boo Doo knows his responsibility, does it to perfection. OpTic Gaming already 2 down. Gamers First, still holding on to this ball.
Yeah, really good job of getting that scrap time. They get 21 seconds on the board. All the while the slays are going through. They're gonna have to reset here, which will allow OpTic to get some time on the board, but some great scrap time there out of Sab with 21 seconds.
But that ball doesn't get played here, and OpTic Gaming were able to successfully get the kills that they were looking for, and now they continue to do that. Back-to-back kills for OpTic Gaming. That play ball that didn't happen towards G1, they thought they can get off a spawn, thought they can get back into the action, but now this is so much ball time, and I'm gonna use the word undeserved here for OpTic, because one play ball would have stopped this setup here.
We have to talk about the positioning of Formal right there, though. He pushes up top center, gets to A plat. That forces every single member of G1 to spawn inside of the green, and it allows OpTic to get so much more time on the board. Beautiful positioning by Formal at top center.
Lead in favor of OpTic Gaming, but G1 do force that ball off the map, and now with this reset, every kill so important. Overshield coming up, OpTic already positioning himself around it, even having presence on the sandbag side as well. Boo Doo has to deal with him off a screen. Trippy ends up hitting a double kill. 3 down go OpTic Gaming, so I have to assume G1 are gonna get this overshield and maybe be the first ones to get this ball over towards tower.
No, they get really good spawns onto A though, so they gotta get 1 or 2 more slays here onto G1. This potentially could go to OpTic in terms of OS. They get another kill. This OS is OpTic's. If G1 can't get the kills, there it is. Sab, the last player alive with ball, and he's gonna go down as well. Beautiful job by OpTic to utilize the spawns on A.
And that's gonna cost you some valuable ball time there. Overshield in the hands of Lucid. APG and Formal already fragging out here, and Formal gets first touch on ball, but just trapped. Gamers First find the first kill. OpTic Gaming able to pull off the rotation here. Suspector is trying to get away from this damage, but OpTic are chasing them down. Gamers First need to respond. Looks like that's exactly what they're gonna do. Ball's played off the map. Another reset comes in. Gamers First now turn a not advantageous position into an advantageous one. They're able to turn that frown upside down. They go from 3 down to now going right back at OpTic. Now they have that ball once again. This is gonna be huge for Gamers First.
OpTic do have those split spawns and a couple of isolated 1v1s. A great trade there by Suspector, but he's not able to get the second. That's going to be 2 down. Make that 3 down for each side. A 1v1. As you can see, Boo pushing the ball towards his spawning teammates on A.
Man, OpTic are good. Despite the fact that Gamers First got into that early setup, they weren't able to get much time on that ball. This A side setup working a little bit better for them. Formal trying to stay alive with this green gun. The communication, the coordination, just too good for Gamers First. Formal gets dealt with. The third one gonna fall here for OpTic Gaming. Now it's a bit of a 1v1. Trippy versus Sab over towards the garage side, and Gamers First getting the favorable spawns, and Sab having the favorable weapon in that engagement.
Yeah, I think Trippy did all he could do there. Tried to repulse that second heat wave shot, but Sab did time it perfectly. Off a spawn though, Formal's gonna get two. He gets three with a perfect, beautiful shots by Formal. G1 gonna be on spawn, and OpTic gonna get some more time on the board.
Patience is not a virtue, it is a weapon. And that's exactly what Formal uses against them. Just waiting for the right time to net himself a triple kill. Continues to go from there, finds the fourth one as well. Gamers First scrambling here as all of that ball time comes in. Falcade has to answer back with a play of his own. Both of these teams are emptying the tank right now. They're leaving it all on the line. It's just round number one.
I was just gonna say that, Tony, to think it's just round number one with 44 seconds remaining. Every little bit of ball time helps here. A lot of scrappy time will be had, and as you can see, G1 narrowly take the lead with 74 seconds on the board.
79 to 69 lead in favor of Gamers First, and they're quickly adding to it. Finally, that ball ends up being dropped, but it's still being rotated back to the tower side. Lucid wins a big battle against Falcated, but that's all on the A side of the map. Gamers First are already thinking 2 steps ahead. They're bringing that ball toward the tower side. Just 4 more seconds needed. 3, 2, 1. Lucid gets the kill, but it's not fast enough. Gamers First are now 1 round away from pulling off the upset.
Wow. That rotation, the scrap time and the rotation through pillars all the way to back tower was absolutely beautiful. Lots of slays happened. OpTic, they had numbers there, but that rotation literally won that round for G1. We'll see if OpTic can answer back here.
Green gun getting put to use immediately by the green wall. Trippy taking down multiple players here. APG blocking off the seaside spawns, so that's gonna influence those spawns over toward the green side, perfectly away from overshield. APG knows that his role was just to block the spawns. It's okay if he goes down here as long as they put points on the board, so he sacrificed that sniper off the map. Love that play.
Yeah, unfortunately took it too much damage though, but they get the trades. Formal and Lucid. Formal's gonna have that overshield, and so because of that, he's gonna be able to push these spawns onto the tower. He's still got half to work with, so that's very good for them, especially with the fact that they're down 1 round. This time is crucial.
Formal has the overshield. Gamers First do have the green gun. It looks like they're able to trade out their life with that overshield player. With 2 down for both of these teams, they both need to value these next few kills. Gamers First flooding the green side. Lucid drops the ball in order to put the heat wave to work, but eventually goes down himself here. Back over towards Formal with that ball reset. He wants to make sure Gamers First have no angle on it. Boo boo doo boo. Don't challenge this man.
We've got to talk about how important that win was right there by Formal. I mean, that's a 1v1 that literally just changes the pace. They're able to spawn up though, so still a 4v4. But regardless, a lot of ball time here. Bubu's not able to be a nuisance like he wanted to be if he ended up getting that kill. And OpTic approaching 60 seconds.
Gamers First, despite having that incredible, that inconceivable first round going right at OpTic Gaming, they haven't been able to put a single point on the board here. OpTic Gaming have absolutely run this almost like they flipped the switch. They know that their tournament life is on the line, and they're expected to make grand finals. They're expected to win tournaments. OpTic Gaming looking much different here in this round number 2 as they rotate that ball to the safety of the green side. Lucid covering his back despite not having despite not even being full shields. He's going in with the green gun. This might just be it. Gamers First might just get goosed here in the second round.
This is a statement by OpTic. If they're able to goose G1 in this round number 2, it'll be so huge, and they do just that. We're going to round number 3, but a statement has been made. We'll see how the mentals handle that one on G1.
Gamers First still have the advantage though. You're talking about being 1 round away from knocking out OpTic Gaming, but as of right now, OpTic must be feeling good. 100-0. An absolute shutout in that round number 2, and they're already getting first hands on that ball. Sab needs to make a play with this sniper rifle. He's gonna have 2 in front of him. Body shot to Trippy. Finishes him off quickly with the BR. Nobody else at OpTic Gaming in position to play for the overshield, but Formal is baiting it from all the way across the map. They thought that was a free overshield, but you still got to deal with Formal.
I'm telling you, man, you know, winning like that is, you know, it's pretty bad for G1, but it's even bigger for OpTic Gaming. They get the confidence necessary to know they are good. They are one of the best teams in the game. 21-1. They're trying to make another statement here. With 1 second on the board for G1, they're trying to close this out.
OpTic Gaming have an advanced understanding on how to play the space here on Livefire. Their angles, whether from long range, mid range, close range, they are always in the fight. They're always covering each other's back. Even, like I said, always, even not on top of each other. They're still able to help each other from across the map, and that's what makes OpTic Gaming so dangerous. Formal putting the heat wave to work. That ball ends up being played. Look at the scoreboard already. This might be another bad one for G1.
Yeah, honestly, that play ball scared me a little bit. Trippy rolled that off the back of green. I didn't think it was going to go off the map. And if it didn't, honestly, G1 would have had a nice little setup there. Would have regained in numbers, but they do end up getting it off the map. They've got 3 dead now for G1. 42 seconds and counting for OpTic Gaming. This is round number 3. OpTic looking to tie this up right now.
Eagle team halfway to victory.
That ball just kept rolling. And as of right now, OpTic looking like they looking like the Undertaker.
Ball taken.
This Gamers First, they built so much. They built so much momentum. They've built so much energy. What happened? Did they run out of gas? They run out of steam? How are OpTic looking so dominant after the first 2 games looking so great for Gamers First? That first round looking amazing for them as well. And it's almost like OpTic have downloaded that information, and now they understand how they want to counter the aggression and the overwhelming numbers that Gamers First are using. A 62-1 lead. OpTic want to see a game 5.
That's exactly what it all comes down to. They don't want to go down early here. Like you said, they're a Grand Finals team, and to miss this Grand Finals would be a hit. It would also give them, you know, less points for seeding, which also could be a hit. 62-16, G1 gets some time on the board, but OpTic is just playing some phenomenal Halo here. And this is exactly what they needed to do to tie this series up.
If I'm Falcon, I'm so frustrated with that. You can tell Falcon's like, I'm just running in and getting the mail. I don't care. Stop it.
I'm done with this.
GA the poll.
GA the poll.
62-18 lead in favor of OpTic Gaming. The first kill will work towards Gamers First here. OpTic forced to play that ball off the map. Sab forced to absolutely obliterate APG. See you in 8 seconds, buddy. Think about what you've done. 3 down for OpTic Gaming. Gamers First very much so in it. The comeback is possible as Sab continues to go off. Hold this ball, Falcated. Sab is about to make some plays. I can feel it here, Tim. Tim, I can feel it.
Yeah, you can just tell by the reticle movement, right? Sab's looking really confident, and you need someone like this on your squad to be able to turn the game around, but at the same time, OpTic needed to kill him right there. That momentum is so very strong for your mental. He was about to take over. You could just tell by his movement, but he gets shut down. But 2 down for OpTic. G1 as a whole are starting to play way better Halo, approaching 50 seconds.
And not only are Boo Boo Dooble and G1 putting points on the board, but Boo Boo Dooble gets away with the overshield, has to deal with 2 players, goes right at APG, even does a bit of damage to 2 other players, and now is gonna get out of dodge. Will OpTic continue to push forward to the ball, or will they have to address Boo Boo Dooble, who's now moving in for a flank right behind enemy lines here? 2 quickly going down for OpTic Gaming. Trippy gets himself a critical double kill right there. If Trippy goes down, G1 might have run away with it, but now the rest of OpTic Gaming are back in the fight and looking to finish it like Master Chief.
That was really well said, Tony. That was a critical fight by Trippy, because if he dies there, G1 get OpTic on a staggered spawn, and they can continue that staggered spawn for the rest of round number 3. Now, like you said, OpTic is able to come back through, assist each other in this situation. They get one dead on either side, but OpTic has the ball time to work with here, approaching 80 seconds. Here comes the push from Big Door. They've got to stop this push, and look who it is. It's Trippy to stop it in its tracks.
Double kill.
G1 pushing forward, but Trippy ready for it. And now the denial grenades going in. All to buy time as Trippy tries to get his shields back. And the rest of OpTic Gaming push up, and Sab goes down without putting any damage into Trippy. That means he's going to continue to push forward as he takes down the second one. That's going to be a double kill. While that happens, it looks like that ball is being manned by Formal, looking for the spawners, watching every angle. Nobody in position right now. This might be it. We might be going to a game 5. G1, you got to get in there. You got to get in there right now.
Yeah, that's it. There's no way Sab ends up dying. He's the only one in position. We're going to a game 5 in the losers finals. OpTic starting to wake up.
Where are we going again? Say that one more time.
We're going to a game number 5.
Woo! My favorite 2 words in esports.
They are
Game
incredible.
number 5, and it's gonna be a slayer. And Tim, I didn't have any doubt. I didn't have any doubt that OpTic Game would send us to a game 5. I swear.
No, you're lying. We
What?
all know you're
I would've
lying.
lied.
All right,
I
we need a
would've
lie
lied.
detector test. LBT, can we get one transported over to Tony real quick?
That's slander. 9,600 damage by Lucid. On the other side of things, 91 damage out of Boo Boo Doo. Not bad. The damage still working in favor of OpTic Gaming, but if Boo Boo Doo continues to play like that, especially on Empyrean Pit Remake, maybe Gamers First come out on top. But OpTic Gaming, they refuse to go down. They hold on. That's twice in a row that Gamers First had the advantage going in. In that Strongholds match, it was like a 218 to about like 168 lead in favor of G1. They didn't put a single point on the board after OpTic Gaming started to roll. In that oddball match, Gamers First took a great round 1. All they had to do was put one more round in. Sounds easy, right? Not against the world champs. Not against your back-to-back land champs. Not against the MVP, the controller player of the year. Not against OpTic Gaming.
You know, I'm kind of indifferent. We're seeing so much bloodshed on such a loving day of Valentine's Day, but you know what? I love it. This map is going to be tough. Empyrean Slayer is one of the maps on the circuit that a lot of teams kind of dislike a little bit, and it just comes down to the fact that you make one mistake, that's it. If one team gets you on a spawn trap inside a shotgun or on the courtyard, on the snipe courtyard, and they've got power weapons, it is nearly impossible to break. So it's gonna come down to, I mean, who makes the mistake first? Everyone's got to play perfect Halo here on this game number 5. What a beautiful triple there by Formal. Really started to come into his own when it matters the most.
The one reason why I love the fact that we're doing this game number 5 on Empyrean is that there's going to be so many opportunities for the game to just slow down.
Right.
Sniper on sniper action, you know, just waiting for the right play and really playing the chess game that is Halo Infinite. That snipe was absolutely disgusting. Oh my gosh, I literally just jumped out of my chair watching that snipe. But we should expect plays like that.
Right.
That sniper was going to be so important on Empyrean, cutting the map in half, and then not allowing the game to get out of hand. Because how many times have we seen one spawn trap go in, and now we know a 2-kill lead turns to 6, turns to 8, turns to 9, turns to 11. You can't let the game get out of hand. You have to be able to slow it down when necessary and then change that tempo once you get the advantage. Empyrean. Going to be game number 5. I know all my old heads are going crazy right now.
Yes, I am.
This bring me back to the MLG days. And you know, I did it once before. I'm going to do it again. Tell me to do it again. The wise words of Farouk.
Tell me.
Let's lock it up.
Let's go. I don't know how to follow that one up, but here we are. Game number 5 in the losers finals. This is it right here. G1 versus OpTic Gaming. OpTic, honestly, to be said to have probably the momentum going into this match. They get a 100-0 round inside that oddball. They close it out. in round number 3, essentially a reverse sweep in that oddball game. They reverse sweep the series here if they win this one as well. So I'm telling you, if you're OpTic Gaming, you're feeling really confident right now, but G1 have something to prove here. This is their moment, right? To prove that they're icy in game 5s, that they can come together, play disciplined Halo, and play perfect Halo. But right away, we're all 4 dead. 4-1, OpTic had the lead.
Trippy has that overshield and sniper rifle combination, but that overshield ends up being shredded almost immediately. Formal puts the rockets to work, but ends up going down as well. So now you should see a double sniper action in. No scope metal coming in for Lucid. APG gonna be that forward player, being an absolute nuisance with his life. They thought he was low on the runway side, but he ends up bouncing right back in with the repulsor. It's not just for dropping down, you can bounce right back up.
Yeah, I talked about this a little bit. I believe it was yesterday. Sword so much stronger now in Halo Infinite than it was in the Halo 3 rendition of this map. But I'm really impressed that G1 was able to get out of a situation where they were all 4 dead. OpTic pressures them on that courtyard. They get out of the spawns. They're able to make this a match. It's 9-6. Boo has the snipe in hand. He's the difference maker in this situation. He's got the weapon to potentially make this a tie, but he's got to hit those shots, and he's got to get through APG, who's on his tower.
Snow stats let us know that APG was the leading slayer on this team, rocking a 1.94 KD coming into this elimination bracket finals. Already 3-0, has the sniper rifle in hands. OpTic opening up the playbook. They're about to let APG absolutely go off. Body shot quick to the BR. As many times as this man has played on pit, he must feel comfortable. Woo.
Killing spree.
He has definitely played his fair share on the pit, and how much this player has grown over the years. I remember when Halo 3 first came out, playing and competing against him for the most customs games played, because we didn't have matchmaking MLG at the time. And just over the past like 3 years, has become such an intelligent player. And he talks about it on his stream, how he tries to go for making plays and not so much just go for shooting and picking up objective. And there it is. These rockets are coming up. He's got to make a play here. He gets back smacked. And now the rockets in the hands of Sav, and he gets a trade as well. That's 3 down for G1. But potentially the rockets in the hands of Suspector, who's got the spawn going towards that middle room.
Sav was just hiding in that corner, ends up taking down 2. You notice that Trippy also grabbed the overshield, but what happens? He gets repulsed right off the map, and now Gamers First walking around with 1 rocket in hands, the only power weapon before these sniper rifles come up. Plays are being made here by Gamers First. Suspector, long-range rocket gonna connect onto Trippy here, and Boo Boo Doo steals that sniper rifle. There may be a lead in favor of OpTic Gaming, but Gamers First are doing everything necessary for a comeback to happen here.
You talked about it. Talked about the pace of the game slowing down here. It's exactly what's happening. No team wants to make a mistake because of how important it is to not go down early. You go down just 1, you take too much damage. Potentially that's a push, and then a spawn trap, and then an even bigger lead for OpTic, or G1 tied up. And it's like back in the day in 2007. We're looking at the snipe battle here between Boo Boo Doo and Formal.
Except in 2007, I'm pretty sure Boo Boo Doo was like 5 years old. Boo Boo Doo, sniper rifle in hands, but this man can absolutely go off. And I love that he's sniffing out APG over there. A couple of grenades, but not gonna do any damage whatsoever. Nobody home. Trippy over on the tower side. Lucy gonna be the first one to do damage, and even a 17-12 is so early in the game. Neither one of these teams want to make any mistakes possible. They respect each other. They respect how strong that spawn trap is. One false move, and it can ruin a game here. Both players going down to 1 shot. Looks like APG ends up going down courtesy of Suspector. Trippy gonna answer right back here, so OpTic still looking good. G1 trying to dip in and out. Rockets are coming up. Can they get in position to get those rockets? Overshield the same.
Yeah, Sav's in position to get the OS, but I told you it happened right there. Formal with a beautiful snipe. That's a huge snipe right there with rockets coming up. But once again, that one snipe on the Lucid opens up the entire map, and now things are haywire. Trippy has the rockets. OpTic has a chance here to make a push and to extend this lead.
Trippy gets away with the rockets, down to one shot. He needs his shield back, and he needs to stay alive. Falcated drops the drop wall, so Trippy has to play around it. Backing down here. Easy rocket kill for him. 2v2 situation. OpTic getting favorable spawns, and they look to push forward. Suspector and G1 flipping the map onto the tower side. This tower side position so important. And Suspector has it. Boo Boo Doo has his back.
Yeah, really smart play though by OpTic. They're gonna overextend to the other side to meet up, and G1 does the same. We're on opposite sides of the map right now. The problem is, just think about it, right? One person from either side goes down. They are trapped on their side of the map with the enemy squad right next to them. So these next few moments are gonna be very tense. Of course, the sandbox master himself with the heat wave in hand, and Trippy in a beautiful position on top tower with Snipe.
OpTic still have that 22-18 lead. Suspector having that sniper rifle on one tower, and it looks like Trippy might. Oh, I thought he was in a reposition, but he looks right back up, and that might be an audio cue or at least a visual one. I don't know exactly where Trippy is. Maybe he's trying to bait Suspector out and catch an angle on him as he's moving left to right, making himself as hard as a target as possible. Suspector on the tower side. Gamers first on the sword side. Who's going to get this first kill to allow the rest of their team to push up?
A little bit of damage is all they need. Lucid trying to get that damage with the heat wave. You see Trippy inching forward. They've got information on one, but he's watching these other angles. It's a big snipe, but he's gonna miss it. Everyone's safe at the moment here. No one wants to make a misstep. They call it footsies when you talk about fighting games. It's the same thing here. APG gets the first kill. Here comes a snipe from Trippy. Here comes the push. Trippy hits the shots, but it's not enough. They get the trades. But the trades are not good for G1. OpTic still up by 5.
With the rockets and overshield coming up, both teams had to get out of their position and play towards it, and that's what caused the action that we just saw. Gamers first get away with the rockets, but there's none left, and I'm not sure what happened to the overshield. I'm gonna assume it's not in play anymore. Trippy and Formal on the outside, the source side. Excuse me, that overshield is in play, and it's in the hands of Formal, and it's gonna matter here. Trippy and Sav trade out their life here. Finally, that overshield gets shredded, but the damage has been done. OpTic want to play through it. The first one goes down. There's two more. That nade not going to do any damage, but Formal somehow trades out his life. 3 down for Gamers First. OpTic Gaming adds to their lead.
There it is, the sandbox champion right there. He's got the heat wave, the repulsor, the snipe, all at the same time. And you know what that spells, Tony? Danger. Lucid inside his sword is going to be very difficult to contend with. So G1, they've got to play together to get him out. They get a lot of damage on him, but will it be enough for them to want to push in? He's down to 1 shot. This might be the opportunity, but Chirpy, he gets a kill. And another one. That's 2 down for G1. That push is quelled.
The advanced analytics say that OpTic Gaming prefer a long game. When a long game lasts 9 minutes or more, they're undefeated.
Wow.
So far, this game is going the long haul. And OpTic Gaming currently have a 9-kill lead. Formal rotating that sniper all the way over towards the first BR side of the map here. So if anybody tries to sneak in towards that long haul side, Matt should be able to deal with them. Lucid has a sniper of his own. How do Gamers First do it? Apparently they won't, because back-to-back kills go in favor of OpTic Gaming. Gamers First now on the respawn screen. The other 2 players are scrambling, trying to stay alive desperately, but OpTic Gaming are closing in. This overshield is coming up, and Gamers First have already lost position for it.
Yeah, blood in the water. 38-26. G1 are gonna have to play aggressive. They're not playing their comfortable game right now. They get two though. This could be the opening. It opens up overshield for them. Boo Boo's on the bottom of tower as well. If he can get Formal off that tower, potentially have a play here. He's not able to, but the trade does come through. 30 to 39. Suspector's gonna have this overshield and snipe in hand.
Suspector steals the overshield. Misses the first one, a bit of a warning shot, but Matt Formal on the other side gets himself a critical kill. Boo Boo Doo tries to catch a bit of an off angle onto the mid-bridge side. Watch your head. Formal is lining it up. APG off the screen puts his 17th kill on the board, by the way.
Told you.
Man's absolutely going off.
He's been here before. This map changed subtly. It did. It's been scaled for Halo Infinite, but it's still the same fundamentals, same mindset. Finally, G1 make a push. 43 to 31. Is it a little too late with a minute remaining? They've got to make something happen here. They get a couple kills on the board, but they need way more. 59 seconds and counting. Suspector has to reload, which means he has to back off with no shields. They pinch on him, and that's another kill. 3 kills remaining. They win this game, Tony.
And there it is. The rest of OpTic Gaming are now chasing down Gamers First. Boo Boo Doo ends up going down. You see the body disrespect coming in, letting him know that there's levels to this. APG puts his 21st on the board. The green wall will not be shaken.
OpTic Gaming with the reverse sweep. Absolutely incredible discipline out of this squad and almost unbreakable defense and just perfect positioning. Does not allow G1 to find any opening whatsoever. These two have faced each other before. In the previous tournament, it went to a bracket reset, with FaZe having to win 2 best-of-5s to come out on top. This time, the story has flipped. And now OpTic are the ones that need to win 2 best-of-5s after falling 3-1 to FaZe previously in this tournament. It's going to be a tough task for OpTic. Can they make it happen?
Definitely want to give a shout out to Gamers First for, first of all, making it this far. You saw them beat out SSG to get here. You saw them take the first 2 games over OpTic Gaming here in the elimination finals, and I thought it was possible. But even a bigger shout out to OpTic Gaming. The reverse sweep comes in. And like you said, OpTic Gaming are going into the grand finals. And of course, I mean, that's what the script says. It's supposed to be OpTic Gaming versus FaZe all year long, right? That's what it said, right? Everybody says it, and it's gonna happen again. But damn, Gamers First put on one hell of a show. And to think they were just 1 round away. 1 round away from coming out with the 3-1 win in that oddball. They were the ones with that advantage. 218 to 168. In that stronghold, almost sweeping OpTic Gaming. Gamers First, a very new team, by the way. But they're figuring it out. Watch out for them all season 2 long.
That's the crazy thing, right? With CEO Kenny Vaccaro behind you, right? The guy really cares about his players, and it's one of the reasons why I love G1 as an org. These guys are hardworking. They've got the chemistry. They've got that outside of the game chemistry, which is really honestly what you need in a squad, because when things get tough, you want to win with your boys. So G1, unfortunately, they fell here in 3rd place, but 3rd place is nothing to be sad about after such a great performance. It's now time to grind and get ready for Charlotte, but we've got to talk about the story. OpTic Gaming, incredible discipline, reverse sweep. They've got to have confidence, Tony. After getting that reverse sweep, they've got to understand, they've got to have that mental confidence to realize they're here for a reason. They're 2-time LAN champions for a reason. Can they make it happen against FaZe, though? A team that, you know, just has been so dominant online. A team that you would say on paper is weak online. A lot of, you know, you got Royal 2 in Canada, you got Snakebite that's got internet issues, but they're just so strong. Renegade, he doesn't like online. You know, all of them talk about how LAN is their favorite. You know, Snakebite was talking about it earlier. You know, he loves LAN. If it was only online that he play, it'd be very rough for him. So if they're, you know, of the weaker, I would say a weak team online, and they're performing this well, it's just scary, right? OpTic's gonna really have to pull it all out here for this series. It's gonna be a difficult one, and they gotta win 2 best-of-5s this time.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about OpTic, you know, feeling confident off of that win, and I want to agree with you. I mean, it wasn't too long ago that in scrims, OpTic were able to 6-2 phase, and it was good. It was a dominant one at that. The problem is that you lost the SSG Snowdown to them. You lost literally just yesterday in the grand finals. And by the way, to like you said, a bracket reset. And even in the winners finals today, you were 3-1. If I'm OpTic, that has to be sitting on the back of your mind. And I know that as a professional player, you have to have that mental reset.
Right.
And you can't allow that to affect you, but it has to be sitting at least in the back of your mind.
We've got a grand finals coming up after this break. If you've enjoyed yourself so far on this broadcast, understand that, you know, we're all here volunteer, and everything that you give for support goes to all the beautiful casters. You've seen the production, the stats as well. We will be back with the grand finals.